Good day, my dear students. It's another week to be spent together to learn new things in English, and this time we are going to have Unit 6, Week 2, Selection Vocabulary with Denotation and Connotation. Let us begin our lesson with identifying the meaning of each underlined words in the sentences to be provided later. Now, these words are to be seen in the selection that we are about to read this week. Let us have the first sentence. Rio, though in a deep desolation 2 weeks after her mother's death, decided to continue her training for the Olympic game. What do you think Rio would feel after her mother's death? What do you think is the meaning of the word desolation? Do you already have an idea? Okay, I have here several images. Can you look for the image that is related to the word desolation? Do you already have an answer? That's great. The correct answer is the second image, which shows state of devastation or sadness. Okay, let us move on to our next sentence. In some of the famous kids' film, inanimate items like cups and saucers sing catchy tunes while dancing. What do you think is the meaning of inanimate? How are you going to describe cups and saucers? Here are some of the images you can choose from. And what do you think is the correct answer? That is the first image. Okay, that is a rock, which shares the same characteristic with cups and saucers. Now, what do you think is the meaning of inanimate? It means not having life. Third sentence. Reality smites me as my mother tells me that she will no longer be there for me after marriage. What do you think is the meaning of smites? Here's another sentence. He smites his opponent from behind, which left him unconscious. Now, here are the images. Is it the first one? Looks like she's dancing. Second one, hitting something very hard. Next one, screaming. Your answer is? Okay, that is the second one. Smite means hit something with great force. Let us move on to our next sentence. The viewers were insulted when the politician stated that he provided the people's need during the calamity with great arrogance. What do you think is the meaning of arrogance? And how are you going to describe the politician? Now here are some of the images you can choose from. Which do you think shows arrogance? Is it the first one, second one, or third one? Okay, the correct answer is the third one. Okay, now let us move on to the meaning of arrogance. It means quality of thinking too highly of oneself or one's achievement. Next, your words against our friendship really torn me asunder. What do you think is the meaning of the word asunder? It is used to describe the word torn. Now, the images are here. What do you think is the correct answer? That is the first image, which shows apart or split into parts. I hope you can follow and understand the meaning of each word, because later you're going to construct your own sentences using each vocabulary. Now, let us have the next sentence. His dog stumbled and rolled in the middle of the knoll where it got burrs on its fur. What do you think is the meaning of the word knoll? And where do you think you can get burrs? Now, here are some of the images. What do you think is the correct answer? That is The third one, you can get birds from a grassland. Now, knoll means small, grassy hill. Do you understand the meaning of each word? I hope so, because we are going to answer your workbook. I want you to open it on page 250. Let us have practice A. In this part, you're going to enter or write the vocabulary word that best completes each sentence. Let us have number 1. He might be very knowledgeable, but that is no excuse for his. Is it desolation, inanimate, smite, arrogance, asunder, or no? Next. After the battle, the soldiers walked through the blank that was left behind. What do you think they will leave behind? Next one. His family ate a picnic lunch while he slept on a grassy blank. What is your answer? And the last one. Pencils and books are examples of blank objects. How are you going to describe pencils and books? I hope you can get the correct answer because I will check it. Now let us have more activity on the same page. Let us have practice B. This time, you are going to identify the vocabulary word that is close in meaning to the italicized word in each question. Then, after that, you're going to explain your answers. Let us have number 1. The word is pride. Which word is similar to pride? I want you to write your answer in your workbook or type it or enter in the website. How about number 2? What is the word related to lifeless? And number 3, apart. Let us have the last activity about selected vocabulary in your workbook, which is apply. In this part, you're going to respond to each question using the bold-faced vocabulary word and its meaning in your answer. Let us have the first question. Which is used to smite? Is it a hand or a handkerchief? Which do you think will be useful to hit something very hard? How about number 2? Would you more likely find a tree torn asunder during a storm or on a sunny day? I hope you can get the correct answer. How about number 3? Which would cause a feeling of desolation? Is it losing a job or visiting a friend? After identifying the meaning of the unfamiliar words earlier, your task is to construct sentences using each one. Please be mindful of your spelling, capitalization, grammar, and correct punctuation marks. And of course, it is better if you can construct sentences with different structures. Now, let us move on to our next topic. The question is, what are the 2 principal methods of describing the meaning of words? Actually, there are 2 ways. Let us have the first one. The meaning of some words can be coming from dictionaries, right? If the meaning of the word is coming from a dictionary, we are referring to the literal meaning. Now, that is what we call denotation. How about the second method? Let us think. There are some words with positive and negative meaning. Sometimes it depends on the usage in sentences. If the meaning of the vocabulary depends on the ideas, feelings, or emotions attached to it, that is what we call connotation. For further understanding of connotation, let us have some examples here. Let us practice. The word is relaxed. What do you think is the idea related or attached to it? Is it positive, negative or neutral? Remember, neutral can be negative or positive depending on how we use it in a sentence. Relaxed. What is that? That is positive. Our next word is lazy. What do you think is that? Positive, negative, or neutral? Oh, that is of course negative. If I tell you you're lazy, of course, that is a negative idea. Let us have more examples. The word is inactive. What do you think is that? It can be positive or negative. That means the word inactive is neutral. And to make it clear to you, here is an example sentence. The organization has been inactive despite the needs and demands of the victims. The use of the word inactive in this sentence is negative. How about in our next sentence? The inactive volcano serves as a tourist destination in the province. The word inactive in this sentence is positive. Now, I have given you 3 words earlier. Those are relaxed, lazy, and inactive. As you can notice, those are synonyms, but they have different meanings. It depends on the ideas or feelings attached to them. Let us have one more set of words. First word is courageous. Is it positive or negative? Of course, that is positive. One of the synonyms of courageous is reckless. Despite this, the idea attached to it is negative. One more synonym is unafraid. Considering its connotation, what do you think is the feelings attached to it? Okay, it can be positive or negative. That means unafraid is neutral. And here's an example sentence. The student wasn't afraid to the punishment to be given to him once caught cutting classes. Unafraid in this sentence is negative. How about in the second sentence? The knight wasn't afraid of the war ahead of him to defend his country. In this sentence, unafraid means courageous as well, so it's positive. Now, the 3 words unafraid, courageous, reckless are synonyms, but they have different feelings attached to them, so they can have different meaning. I hope I made connotation and denotation clear to you, because we are going to have another activity in your workbook. This time, I want you to open it on page 251. And on this page, you're going to see activity like this. Let us do number 1. The table below contains words from the poem Eurydice. Use a dictionary to find the denotation for each word. Write each word's connotation. Then, use a thesaurus to find a synonym for the word that has a different connotation. The first word is listlessness. Second, unconscious, then forgot. Please have your dictionaries. After answering practice and apply, let us move on to number 2. This time, you're going to write sentences that include synonyms from your chart. Your sentences should clearly show the word's connotation. That means you are going to use your answers from the previous activity. I hope you can construct correct sentences. How about number 3? Read each excerpt. Then, explain how the meanings would have been different if the author had chosen the word or words in the parentheses instead of the bold-faced word or words. Let us have letter A. They were as frenzied as those who killed Pentheus so horribly. Instead of frenzied, we're gonna use upset. And what do you think will happen to the meaning of the sentence? Please write your answer on the space provided. How about letter B? In anguish, in haste, wrenched from earth root after root. Instead of wrenched, we are going to use pain or pulled. What do you think will happen to the meaning of the text? Again, write your answer on the space provided. Do you already have your answer? That's great. I hope you understand our lesson for this day. And that will be all. Have a nice day.